Back to the Mr. Kiwi rapid unboxing. Most of these packages I'm probably going to unbox off camera just to save a little time, but this one, I believe I know what this one is, and it's got a little interesting story to it, but it'll be fairly quick. Nothing super special in here. It was just a case of two stackers who were blessed by the same lucky event, I guess you would say. Someone I've done some deals with before, member of Stacker Social, but this deal actually came from YouTube, where he made a YouTube video about a duck race that he won, kind of more like a raffle than a standard duck race. But anyway, it's something that many people do, and you may have seen his video. I'm not sure if I saw it forwarded through Stacker Social or it just came to my YouTube feed, because we've communicated before. But anyway, he made an interesting offer. He said, I've got all these things that I don't normally collect. I got them all for the best possible price, mostly free, although there was some costs involved for him. But it was a great win, a huge win. But he passed the blessing along. He said if anybody wanted to buy these items, he would sell them for a fantastic deal, an absolutely fantastic deal. And I couldn't get to my keyboard fast enough because I recognized these were things that I did not need. I have plenty of, but it comes back to the philosophy of stacking the most number of ounces for the least number of dollars. And this qualified for that immediately. And I wanted to, I don't know if it's greed. Maybe you can tell me, is this greedy, self-serving, or just recognizing a good deal? And my friend, he was blessed by winning a prize, and I was blessed by being the first person to say, I'll buy them all now, right now. Don't change your mind, I'll send the money as soon as I get off this keyboard. Just kidding. But we made a deal, and I've already received them. He shipped them to me super fast. And I'm just going to unwrap these fairly quickly. Oh, they're super well wrapped. Perhaps I should have done this off camera. These are great little shipping bags. I typically don't. Look at this. We've got packing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I typically save these packages because I reuse them either for packing, or actually I use them as shipping packets, padded envelopes. That's what they're designed for. And if you're fairly gentle opening them, they're really quite good to reuse. I don't think this one will be reused. These are a little thin. I like the ones that are almost Teflon or Kevlar on the outside. So look what we have. We've got a graded. Now this one says SP70. Now ANAX, I'm not quite sure about the ANAX vernacular, but this is a 2020, and it does say W, which means it's a West Point. Let me see if it's a real West Point. I believe it is. That's a real West Point. I think that may be a West Point mint mark, or it may be the initials of the engraver. But I don't know why they would call this an SP. That would normally be a proof. I don't know if I would call this a proof, but if it came from West Point, they often were proofs. So anyway, as you can tell, 5 graded MS70 I was expecting, and this one may be a proof 70. American Silver Eagle from 2020, my favorite Type 1. So I'm going to open these up really quick, and maybe I can speed the video up. I wasn't planning on editing anything, just doing quick videos, but if this is going to take too long for me to open these, then perhaps what we'll do is speed this up, and you won't have to listen to me talking. You'll just hear the blah, 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 blah. Let's just see what we got, though. There's a little mix. Okay, now this time we have another ANAX graded MS70 Silver Eagle. This is a Type 2 from and it says struck at the San Francisco Mint first strike. Now this particular one. It's interesting. They put the... Oh, this is very special. This is a 2021 Type 1. This is strange. No, it's a Type... No, I'm sorry. It's a Type 2. All right. No mystery at all. There's the Type 2 Eagle. But because the Type 2 Eagle was brand new that year, they actually graded this with the reverse in the packing, and with Lady Liberty, which would normally be the obverse, I believe, on the back of the slab. And I do like the American flag slab. And now this one being a MS-70 and this one being a SP-70, I think you can see, if we catch the light just right, that this really is a proof coin, which I was not expecting, and that's actually way more valuable than just the super cheap price. Like I said, I was buying Eagles for the least amount of money to gain me the most amount of ounces. So I don't think, I don't know if I'm allowed to say who these were from, but he did put them on his YouTube channel, and I'd be happy to share with you who now what I can consider to be a great friend for sharing his winnings with me in such a generous manner. Okay, we have another ANAX graded. This one also says first release. It's a 2015. It says a W, so it's a West Point. So let's see if this also has the mint mark. Yeah, see, I don't think I'll have to look at this more carefully later. I don't think I see the mint mark. And there was a couple of years where they almost never, on bullion Eagles, they almost never put mint marks. If they're special, like West Point, where they make proofs, or sometimes San Francisco, where they make proofs, they will put a mint mark. And then other years they said, we know where these monster boxes came from, so we are going to write a letter to tell the grading companies that we're certain that these coins came from this special lot or from this mint. And we're all just supposed to believe that. And they put it on the labels. And I don't know. This one is not one of those. This one, well, yeah, it does. It says W. I'll examine this. And if I don't find a W on here, I'm not necessarily going to believe it. I think 2014, 2015 were the years that they made the most Eagles ever. Millions upon millions of them were minted. So, I don't know. I didn't buy these for numismatic value. I didn't buy these because I needed graded Eagles. I happen to have a very large number of slabbed Eagles. And I'll leave them in slabs just as long as I need to. Because why not have proof that something is MS-70 quality? If someone doesn't want it in a slab, that would be their choice. They can break out that perfect coin and put it in a capsule and keep it forever. My attitude is, perhaps one day I'll need these ounces for some other purpose. And if they're worth more at that time, it doesn't matter what you paid for them. If they're worth more at that time, take them out of the capsule. Use them for barter. Use them for trade. Use them to buy a vehicle. Buy your kids food. Whatever you need to do. The value is in the coin. The value is in the silver. And I always say, always buy the coin, never buy the case. Again, another ANAX graded MS-70 Silver Eagle, Type 1, 2021. Now this is special because this is a 2021 Type 1. And this is the 2021 Type 2. Type 2, Type 1, Type 2. So this is actually quite a nice set. It's unusual that the Type 2, they reversed and put the eagle on the front of the slab, but the Type 1, they did it the traditional manner and put the Type 1 on the back of the slab. But they've got the flag background, and I actually went to a lot of trouble to buy matched sets. I even have the Type 1 and the Type 2 in a single slab. where they put them side by side in the slab and made something special about the changeover from the Type 1 to the Type 2. Cost me a lot of money, to be honest. And here, for almost no money at all, I have the exact same thing from a different grading company, but it's a nice presentation. I'm not a fan of the ANAX. Nothing wrong with ANAX. ANAX was actually, I believe, the very first, if not just one of the first, grading companies, and they were soon overtaken by PCGS, and then eventually they were both overtaken by NGC for popularity. What I don't like is the curved cases. I don't know why they thought that that was necessary to put the curve edge on their slabs, because they just don't stack well that way. And the NGCs and the PCGSs, each in their own loving way, stack very well. I will probably take these out of the plastic. I don't know. I don't know whether I will or not, because like I said, these are just adding to the stack by weight. These apparently have a little more value than I expected, so maybe I'll just keep them sealed and maintain the little extra value that they might have. And let's look at the last one real quick. I've already broken my rule. I'm already talking longer than I said I would. But that's because I find these more interesting than I expected. I thought I was just buying bullion. Or I should say, I thought I was just obtaining bullion in a really... Again, I'm sorry if you hear that road noise. That's because... I'll show you here in a minute what I'm doing. I've got all my screens in my little house here pointing at my front yard because I don't want to miss the deliveries that are coming today. They'd been missed a few times before. Okay, so now we have another ANAX MS70 2022 Eagle, which will be a Type 2, of course. Just a standard 2022 Type 2 Eagle. Now, there are a couple of Eagles that came out, I think it was in 22. 20, 21, and 22 all had something special. And there were some that were minted those years that were absolutely the lowest number of that type of Eagle ever minted. Now, I know we all know that the 96 is the lowest mintage for bullion silver Eagles, but what they did in, I can't remember the year, but they started making all these interesting things like reverse proofs, and they called them burnished, and they came up with all these different names for special Eagles. There's just the US Mint trying to encourage their collectors to spend more money. But in that process, and I believe it was the reverse proof 22, so the same year as this one, where they made literally like less than 20,000 or 30,000 of these coins. And if you got them graded and you got them in MS70, no, they were reverse proofs, so they would have been proof 70. They can be worth tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they are so rare. So this is a poor cousin to perhaps some of the most valuable US Mint coins ever made. So anyway, that's it, real quick. 5 very difficult to hold slabbed Eagles. And even though I disrespect ANAX unintentionally, and even though they were the first grading company, they really started this business, I would not feel bad about busting any of these out of the slabs. If there was a reason to, I just don't find these ANAX slabs very appealing. I will not keep these in my safe very long. But now that I see some of these are a little bit special, that may slow me down a little further. And like I said, if you don't have a reason to bust them out of the slab, leave them in the slab. Thank you all. We'll talk again soon.